other buddies, yeah, they told me they saw you watching from the balcony. We want to bring you up here to help us with the cheer of life. You said no, you never sang, you didn't know and didn't want to. And so we wrote a song for you. We wrote it in a day or two. A song about birds that watch other birds sing tunes. And it goes ooh. You said you'd like to try to sing. Would anybody really listen then? What if it wasn't that great? Or maybe it's too late to learn something. The other buddies will be listening, and they will help you in a heartbeat. We want to bring you up here to help us with the cheer of life. We watched you close your eyes, spread your wings, get ready to fly. And you sang, ooh. For you, I hope you're somewhere out there listening to your little bird and all the other birds sing tunes.
Fine kidegen beleke you nice on my power. My second name would look so good. Na yako ya kwanza esabdwele kwenu ju window Mariana. Fine to my Benji moto. Take all my donation the lotto. This street so cold, I need your love. Same out a con. You kila kitu na do, baby. Oh, I do them for you. Nasi talk ya badu, baby. Kila siku it's new. Kila kitu na do, baby. Oh, I do them for you. Nasi talk ya badu, no. Nasi talk ya badu. Kwako Nico, kwako Minko, Nico, kwako Minko, Nico, kwako Minko, Nico. Haiwezi kama hiso mapenzi stuck in no one else. Your place is next to me and that is no contest. Baba tukubalisha tumarike oh. Mama tubarikisha tuimarike. My pretty mama, I want be your lover. Napenda sana ukinipa mahaba. Na nkishika stawacha ntakwama nawe. Na ukipita ntafuata cause I love you. Kila kitu na do, baby, oh I do them for you. Nasi talk ya badu, baby, kila siku it's new. Kila kitu na do, baby, oh I do them for you. Nasi talk ya badu, no, nasi talk ya badu. Kwako Nico, kwako Minko. risk it all. Ni wewe tu, ni wewe tu.
Your kind of music, all day, all night, right here on your only station, Pawa Radio.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Sheversations with Caroline Murote. The time is 7 minutes past 11, and we are going to have a wonderful 2 hours. This is Power Radio, where you tune in and power up. My good name, once more, is Caroline Murote. So, what are we expecting today? I have on the lineup what's happening, what's going on. I have a news, I have updates, and then we have a wonderful guest that you're going to get to hear from today. Our topic today is very, very, very impactful. So stay tuned. This is a Sheversations.
Your kind of music, all day, all night, right here on your only station, Power Radio.
People keep saying that Kenyan music haina sound. Kwani hizo ngoma zote ni mime? Damn it! Nimegrow na hii, ninajenga na hii. Basically, bila hii, mimi bado. Clap your hands one time, make it 2 times. Now 3 times a charm, now unwind. Ni ite from vile, niko down to take a bath in a good vibe. Scar Blinky on a new track, Cam Beatty on a new flick. Come down on a new scene, Kama Chuchu on a new pick. Picture perfect vision on the jab that beat. To fake it to us so sick, pole kwa delay. Take it to delay, pole kwa delay. Take it to delay. Wire that wale hadi waire. Apande mizizi, ndio nazizi. Aturoge na cocktail ya mnazi. Mini fanboy. Excuse me, kasi make sense, kani noise ni necessary. An exemplary, uliza plenary, pundit, sorry, punit, focus, ka fresh carbon. I see this CD needs a compact. Gabu, you guy, roba me come, kolo me ban, nyasha me flames, dog pound, chihuahua. Maybe Ali catch, maybe Ali patch, who knows? Patch to the uttermost, kama aro yo, ameni jazz, asiyo, weka pasadwar. Jora wa Manjaro, amekuja na top 5 kama thao. 2-5 flow ni anthem wapi Jairo. Hapa moto kama pasi ita 5. Jora wa Manjaro, amekuja na top 5 kama thao. Na sija wataja wote bado. Hapa moto kama pasi ita 5. Sitie shaka, kitu siwa. Kala mashaka, shafikiwa. Uko flani ndio uko yani. Back and bone, sisi matawi. Ogopa DJ, Moss. Boomba train ndio main floss. Nameless Issa to the whole crew. Kapuka never felt so good. K-South be the real shaka. Can't forget all the boom blaka. Iyo ni nini sema no. Genge baba ya ton. Flex jua na no nini. Wakika mkobuto tusema nini. Kings wa East in beast mode. Ken wa A on cheat codes. King Kali na Octo. Beef tamu leta pronto. Eyes of skill never felt so real. Resume unraveling. No time to be graveling. Thank you, salute. Bila nyinyi sisi bado. Hala. Jora wa Manjaro, amekuja na top 5 kama thao. 2-5 flow ni anthem wapi Jairo. Hapa moto kama pasi ita 5. Jora wa Manjaro, amekuja na top 5 kama thao. Na sija wataja wote bado. Hapa moto kama pasi ita 5. Juliani on course, Mkali of course, Kantai R.I.P, Mode near boss, King Kong your sauce, K-Rap main course, Habib na manga tupe anime, Matrix yani, end of age. Jora wa Manjaro, amekuja na top 5 kama thao. Na sija wataja wote bado. Hapa moto kama pasi ita 5.
Your kind of music, all day, all night, right here on your only station, Power Radio.
Living in the studio. Listen to that boom bop go. We got this. Me and all the homies know. Music is our food for show. We got this. Living in the studio. Listen to that boom bop go. We got this. Me and all the homies know. Music is our food for show. We got this.
I can't help but feel punished. I can't help but feel vanished in shadows of those walking behind me. Those I light the way for. Those I nurtured, pain and explained and paved the way for. Down to public shaming, tired of blaming, pointed fingers, hearts cold, feigning joy, looking bars, smoking cranium, eyes my head bobbing, eyes sobbing from police tear gas. Down the chicks trickling, buzz face sickly, frown, look around, sicking thoughts, puzzling, joining, troubling doors, puffing, sniffing, make you groove, guzzling, drinking, take your shots, posing, much to prove, chained up, pleading in the court, size colder, people move.
Living in the studio. Listen to that boom bop go. We got this. Me and all the homies know. Music is our food for show. We got this. Living in the studio. Listen to that boom bop go. We got this. Me and all the homies know. Music is our food for show. We got this.
Bidi bada get murdered. Kakitungu he bit ni tia Jaka waka omera my guy. Tetushani mbogwa my guy wanja. Nimekuja kipan fan kamjesh. Yani regency kamlesh. Hini recently yani come fresh. Kuchenga sheng na sense jenga peng call me the alchemist. On a battlefield with my iron fist. Just turn this bitch into a smoke dish, smoke split, pass shoot, ha.
Living in the studio. Listen to that boom bop go. We got this. Me and all the homies know. Music is our food for show. We got this. Living in the studio. Listen to that boom bop go. We got this. Me and all the homies know. Music is our food for show. We got this. Living in the studio. Listen to that boom bop go. We got this. Me and all the homies know. Music is our food for show. We got this. Living in the studio. Listen to that boom bop go. We got this. Me and all the homies know. Music is our food for show. We got this. Living in the studio. Listen to that boom bop go. We got this. Me and all the homies know. Music is our food for show. We got this. Living in the studio. Listen to that boom bop go. We got this. Me and all the homies know. Music is our food for show. We got this.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Hey, so that was We Got This by Tetushani, Alsafa Njora, M3, Wanja Mohoro, and Sensei. And they are saying We Got This. Right before that, we heard again from Alsafa Njora featuring the wonderful Joy Ochola, and they were saying Njora wa Manjaro. So are you a hip hop head like me? Because truly hip hop has my heart. But I'm trying to dive into everything else, but I'm always gonna be biased. I'm a hippity hoppity 90s baby. And let me know what your vibe is. Let me know what's on your playlist, what you're listening to, and you can reach out on a Power Radio. That is at Power Radio on Instagram, Power Radio on X, which is Twitter. I was just gonna say Twitter anyways. TikTok, and we're streaming live on YouTube. We are also on our website. So if you just go on our socials, you'll be able to find the links. Please give us a like, a share, a comment. If you don't like me, if you love me, we are open to all sorts of feedback, but keep it healthy, keep it positive, keep it progressive. Already, so what are we talking about today, guys? What are we talking about on what's happening? So what is going on is that this weather is bipolar. Nairobi weather is bipolar. I know everybody is talking about this every single day, but it's literally the first thing that smacks you in the face when you leave your house in the morning. Because tell me why. Tell me why it looks like the sun is fighting with somebody. I'm a Nidhambi, guys. Nidhambi. Do we need to repent? I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not sure what's happening over there. But like a couple of weeks ago, what was happening is that there was just a controversial video that was shared on the interwebs where our Olympic team, Kenya, with ladies and the gentlemen, had ladies cooking Kenyan delicacies. And this thing trended for quite a bit. And I just got wind of it yesterday. So what's going on is that you have the girlies with their skuma wikis, with their, they just had a whole bunch of Kenyan food that they were preparing. And the caption on this post was, the Kenyan team prepares Kenyan delicacies in Europe. And I'm just like, this is not a hangout. This is not a chama. This is not a family meeting. Why do we have professional sports women who are representing Team Kenya? Why are they in the kitchen cooking, and where were the men? Honestly, I can throw down, guys. I love to chop. I love to cook. I love to make people happy. I'm a nurturing human being, even if I do say so myself. And I'm all into whatever it is that makes you happy, whatever structures you guys have in your communities, that's okay. But as the nation of Kenya, do we really want to take our ladies to Paris? Ndio waende wapike skuma. I just thought that the standards of not having a chef, not having professional catering staff, if it was really that important for us to represent our national dishes or to import them, export them, whatever it is that, however you're looking at it, so that either the team or whoever it is that it was being taken to or cooked for could enjoy it, then why couldn't the Kenyan team, the Olympic team, hire a chef? I don't understand. And there's a gentleman called Mordecai Ogunda on Facebook, and he had so much to say about it. He really ranted, and I thought that he was making a lot of sense, because I don't know that I want to be somebody's wife, somebody's mother, girlfriend, sister, friend, and take care of them. And then when I am abroad, when I'm supposed to be maybe in the gym, when I'm supposed to be winding down, when I'm supposed to be, going out and taking selfies and networking with other sports people, or just sleeping, I don't know that I want to go to Paris and cook for men because we're on the same team, because I have ovaries. And I didn't really think that was I don't think that that's how we want to represent ourselves. And again, I'm not fighting anybody cooking in their spaces where they like, but can we also have professional standards for our athletes? Can we actually represent ourselves on a global standard? Even if we're saying we're Kenyan, can we not trend for things that don't make sense? Because it doesn't make sense why, with all the chefs we have in Kenya and all of the funding that is available for the Kenyan Olympic team, it makes no sense to me why those ladies would have to go to Paris and start cooking ugali na skuma while the guys are chilling and doing whatever it is that they wanted. It would have made sense if it was a team bonding effort where every single person, male, female, dog, cat, caterpillar, was in the kitchen throwing down. I would have loved to see that. That would make for great content. But when you have one gender doing it and the other one is not, and they are, again, at the Olympics, makes no sense. Yeah, if you were taking a drink of water for every single time I said makes no sense, you would positively be swimming right now. So it is clear that doesn't make sense, and we need to stop it. Kenyans, let us do better. So what else is going on? What else is happening? Let us talk about marriage. During Mandamano, there was certain captions that were trending that Gen Z's wogopa, what do they say? Ndoa na ujimoto. And then it would change. So a lot of the time they would change. They would say Ujimoto is always standard. So Gen Z's wanaogopa Ujimoto. And at the same time, Ndoa was here, there, here, there, here, there. And they're like, there's no reason why we would tie ourselves down in nuptials that don't make sense, because the boomers and the older millennials have failed. They have set terrible examples. I am sorry to say, I agree. I desire marriage. One day I want to see a ring on my finger. However, the internet is not happy, particularly Size 8 and DJ Mo. That's a very interesting relationship that, we love to see the content and everything, but you also never know if it's content or if people are actually struggling. And I have very strong opinions of people struggling out loud on the internet in front of a screen. And it's the saddest thing when a couple cannot get private or personal time to sort out their issues because they happen to be public figures. So I just found whatever is going on very interesting because they have had so many public breakups. And at this point, I'm really struggling to understand if Kenyans are actually taking them seriously. Not because their issues are probably not serious, but because of what social media does to sensationalize people's personal issues. And I would say that yes, the individuals do have a role to play, but also the Kenyan narrative, the Kenyan space when it comes to the media is not a very healthy space, especially when you're struggling. And like they say, the internet never forgets. One player that the internet loves is Wodemaya. Wodemaya has married Miss Trudy, who is a Kenyan influencer. She's a YouTuber. And she recently did an interview with a Ghanaian podcaster. And it's, if you search for it, you'll find it. And she was being very vulnerable. She was being very blunt and open. And she was asked, "Are you happy? Do you think you and your husband spend enough time together?" Seeing that they're both YouTubers and that they primarily earn or, make a living from traveling and making content out of it and just teaching us, showing us their experience. And she said, "No, I think me and my husband could actually spend more time together." And I thought, oh, wow, that's interesting. And did the internet not eat it up? So everybody and their mother went to make reaction videos that, no, these guys are going to be divorced soon. These people are not going to be together for long. This lady is lonely. She's being abused. She's not happy. The Kenyan in-laws were saying, "Woye, Miss Trudy, please come back home," because she relocated to Ghana. And I think that I'm learning so many lessons about living your life out loud on the internet space. It's not a safe space because even when people are going through actual issues and they just want to have a conversation about it, the rate at which people pour themselves into your personal space is crazy. So I think that if you become a public figure, if you plan on becoming a public figure, or you find yourself as a public figure, I think that there's so much to be sacrificed in the way of privacy and understanding that people's opinions are really going to be shoved down your throat. So it takes a lot of discernment and wisdom, what you actually share. And I believe that unless you have really curated what you're going to say about your relationship, and it's for a very particular purpose, like, for example, it's a show that's on relationships, on marriage, I believe that it's better off offline. And this comes from somebody who doesn't mind sharing every minute of their day on the onlines. But I'm really learning. I'm learning out there. So as we continue learning, we're gonna come back and have a little chat about Mpox, because it's really doing the most. It's doing the rounds. Before we get there, we are going to hear from Dawa by Wanja Mohoro and the tantalizing Junior Nyongo. This is Sheversations on Power Radio.
Your kind of music, all day, all night, right here on your only station, Power Radio.
Like the waves of the ocean, bittersweet magic potion, easy off your pain. Like a rain in the summer, ginger root, lemon dower, ease your pain. Like fresh sheets on a Monday, keep me warm on Sunday. Can I ease your like that first sip of beer, I feel fizzy when you're near. Ease
ease my pain.
Napping fresh out the shower, ginger root, lemon dawa, ease my pain.
I'll be your purest escape.
A refuge in your landscape. Can you ease my pain? You'll be my lamp in this shade.
As this song slowly fades,
Can I
ease
my pain?
Can you
Can I ease your pain? I will ease your
Your kind of music, all day, all night, right here on your only station, Power Radio.
It's so hard to leave. Sing me a song when I am gone from you. It's so hard to leave. Sing me a song when I am gone from you. I won't be gone for long. Sing me a song when I am far from you. I won't be gone for long. Sing me a song when I am far from you, far from you.
When all the lights fade and there's nowhere in the world to go, I know I would rather stay, but then again I'm unsure. Simpler times have all but faded, but I can't stay all the same. Simpler times have all but faded, but I can't stay all the same. Mama's wailing, Mongo's wailing from home. Mama's wailing, don't go away 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 from me. Mama's wailing, don't go away from me. Mama's wailing, begging you to stay. The class gathered by the road, nowhere in the world's the same. You're better off staying home. Simpler times have all but faded. I can't stay all the same. Simpler times have all but faded. I can't stay all the same. Simpler times have all but faded. I can't stay all the same. Simpler times have all but faded. I can't stay all the same.
Gone from you. It's so hard to leave. Sing me a song when I am gone from you. I won't be gone for long. Sing me a song when I am far from you. I won't be gone for long. Sing me a song when I am far from you, far from you.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night.
Power Radio. Shani, you already know.
Take a day on the beat.
Burden is light now, my yoke is easy now that you are near me. Discovering life, my life is easy, easy, Lord, you give me abounding grace. Wake up, I see your face. Every day, closer and more we stay. You made a way, gave me grace. Now it's easy for me. I have a way, it's easy for me. You made a way, gave me grace. Now it's easy for me. I have a way, it's easy for me. 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 Ask me how I'm doing, I'll say I'm rich. See, I met the king and he flipped the switch. I got the best things in life. Traded in for money and I give a side eye. I met Faith, she a friend of mine. She give me strength when I don't see with my eye. Hope, yeah, she hold me close when my life low. And love, keep me loving even when they do the most. You made a way, gave me grace. Now it's easy for me. I have a way, it's easy for me. You made a way, gave me grace. Now it's easy for me. I have a way, it's easy for me. It's easy for me. It's easy for me. It's easy for me. It's easy for me.
Your kind of music, all day, all night, right here on your only station, Power Radio.
Already, so the time is 23 minutes to 12. This is Caroline Murote on Sheversations, a Power Radio. So we've been talking about what's happening, and truly, Mpox is the ghetto, guys. Please take care of yourselves. So according to the Ministry of Health, and this was released 3 days ago on the 18th of August, these are the symptoms for Mpox. So nataka kuwajenga so that everybody can take care of themselves. So first of all, the symptoms start to appear 2 to 21 days after infection. So you might be infected right now, and then it shows up 21 days later. What is that even? What is that? What's I don't understand. So these are the symptoms, right? So skin rash, sore throat, body aches, fever, headaches, back pain, and a swollen lymph nodes. Honestly, that is very confusing because it could be anything. You could have back pain because you're on your period. You could have fever because you're having a cold. So there's no way of knowing. So it's just, just casually living in panic. No, I'm not a fear monger. So I hope that you guys are taking care of yourselves. On a more serious note, if you have anybody around you who has been affected, I hope that you're taking precautions, because last show that we had on Monday, we did say that skin to skin and literally being in close proximity to somebody who has Mpox could get you infected. So this thing is doing the rounds in India. It's now currently doing the rounds in Kiambu. I personally don't yet have statistics of how many people has it affected and how badly, but seeing that it's making the news almost every single day right now, I'm a little bit concerned, and so should you. But don't live in a panic. Just be careful. If you find yourself having these symptoms, please take care of yourself. And then we have a piece of, just what's happening internationally. We just have something going on. So a couple of weeks ago, there was the Miss SA in South Africa. And one of the most controversial things that has ever happened on this show, on the event, is that one of the faves, or one of the ladies that was, projected to be one of the winners or the tops, her name is Chidima Adechina. And it just happens that there was a scandal because apparently she's not even South African. The worst thing is that none of her parents are South African. Apparently, one of them is Nigerian and the other one is from Mozambique. And to make matters even worse is that she didn't even have the South African flag on her Instagram. So she does not even identify as a South African. And the story goes that her mother paid somebody, did some fraudulent activities to get the identification of some unfortunate South African child. And that's how Chidima, when she was young, actually got her South African identity. So to mean that anything she has done, her high school, what they use in South Africa is a matric certificate, is equivalent to their KCPE certificate, her college degree that she has, her driver's license, any certificate that she legally has in South Africa under that ID is now fraudulent. And this begs the question of immigration and also juxtaposed with xenophobia, because there was such an outroar, what's the English? An outcry. Like, people were fighting. They were so angry. Like, this woman does not represent us. And honestly, that boiled over to some very xenophobic comments. And because South Africans did not appreciate being called xenophobic for actually calling out identity theft and misrepresentation, an individual claiming to be South African who's fraudulently under South African identity, then now there's so many interesting comment sections on YouTube, on Instagram, because the posts are endless. If you just search Miss South Africa from a couple of weeks ago, even as recently as last week, and you search for Chidima Adechina, you will see the South African baddies calling themselves xenophobes proudly, which is very scary. Very, very scary. It's like, would be the equivalent of there being a tribal tiff, where there was a legitimate cause for concern, like a legitimate issue that turned into some not very pleasant remarks. And then now, because you're like, no, we're not actually tribal. And then we'll be like, then I am I'm a proud tribalist. Let the other tribe die. Let them be wiped out in blood. And I just thought that the way conversations happen on the internet are so interesting. You know, that if you wrongfully accuse me of being hateful, then I'll be like, I might as well be hateful for real. And I'm not sure if an eye for an eye is the way that we want to go about things. But you know what? To each their own. It is what it is. And I hope that they're able to figure it out, because I believe that if this was done to her by her mother when she was a child, whether she knew or not, truly, she's not the one to be held accountable at that point. But also, if you had an inkling that the identification document that you have, first of all, with a name like Chidima in South Africa, really, girl, are you serious? How did you not think you would be put under scrutiny? Because South Africans, they like themselves. They're very proud of their identity, and they want to identify with the people that represent them. So with a name like Chidima Adechina, there is nothing South African sounding about that, as many tribes and identities as they are in South Africa. So if you had any inkling that your documents were fraudulent, why would you register for one of the most, watched events in the whole continent and sometimes in the world, depending on who's watching from where? So that was a weird interaction, and that brings us to the end of what is going on. So right after this, we're going to be hearing about our topic of the day, as well as our Woman Crush Wednesday, and then we are going to hear from our guest. So we have our guest from Dash Care International Organization, and we're talking about period poverty. So we are going to get into those right after this break. Tune in.
Your kind of music, all day, all night, right here on your only station, Power Radio.
Niwe nahepa kukucheki, anipenda yeye nimemwacha nyumbani, yeye hajui. Baby wanichanganya zingua maliza, mimi sijiwezi. Ni makosa baby, forbidden fruit so sweet. Naenda, mimi sitabaki. Twajiweka shimoni, this is where we end, yeah, 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 yeah. 'Cause you're taboo. Kunishika mkono hivo, ninahisi mengi ila ninajua kuna kikomo. Si upendo ni mchezo, uongo si tumeamini. Najaribu kumpenda niliye naye, but wanna let me be. Naenda, mimi sitabaki. Twajiweka shimoni, this is where we end, yeah, 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 yeah. 'Cause you're taboo. Shimoni, this is where we end, yeah, 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 yeah. 'Cause you're
From sunrise to
Already, so the show is a Sheversations. It is 11:54, so we have 6 minutes left of this hour and Woman Crush Wednesday. So we have just heard the good sound of Njerai, who I thought was pronounced Njeri, nimejengwa tu sahi. So thank God I have not come here to embarrass myself. So who is she? She is a talented Kenyan musician. She is from Nairobi, Kenya, and some of her most popular songs are Pressure and Tudhi Nawe, featuring Charisma. So Njerai has been on the scene for a few years now, and as is the story of most underground artists. That's not how we define them, but that's what the mainstream does. She has really walked her way up, and we celebrate her here on Power Radio. So when did she start performing? When did she start putting music out? She started putting music out on in 2015, and she has performed at a number of corporate and creative stages. This includes the Terra Park International's 60th anniversary, and this happened at the Villa Rosa Kempinski. So where all the bougie girlies go, that's where we're heading, right? Me and you, that's where we're heading. But like if your local Vibandaski is also called that's also the vibe, and we can do that. We can have our little crusade and vibe. But she did this at the Villa Rosa Kempinski, Nairobi, at the African Novu. I'm gonna pretend I know French. So Novu Festival 2018. If you know how this word is supposed to be pronounced, Nouveau, please don't come for me. Don't come for me. I'm supposed to have studied, according to my parents, I studied French in high school, but honestly, whatever is going on here does not need to get to them. So she performed over there in 2018, and that was one of the events that started getting her into the scene. And something that we like to do here at Power Radio is to platform artists who are talented, who deserve the platform, artists who are not being given the visibility that they need to do out there on mainstream, right? And Jerai has also shared a stage with the wonderful Aloy Black, Just the Band, Mayonde, Sage, Jarrell, and Estelle as a background vocalist. And she's also been doing gigs for Muthoni, the drama queen, and she did so at Blankets and Wine. And she's also performed at Junk Festival. She's performed at Engage. She's performed at Love and Light. If you don't know these events, then you need to plug in more. You need to plug in local, support local. Like, don't just be giving your monies to the Vibes Cartels and the Hillsongs of the world. We love them, but can you also save something for the Junk Festivals, the Engage, the Love and Light? She's also done Ndimi Zetu and Hesabika Conference. She has done Paragasha. She's done Imarika Festival. She's done Africa, here we go again, Novu Festival. I'm probably butchering it. And this is just among so many others that she has done. So Jerai is one of our faves here at Power Radio. And because we just love her so much, we are going to hear a couple of more songs next. And then we're going to get to hear from our guest of the day as we dive into the topic of period poverty. So I hope that, you have your seatbelt on, because we're about to have a beautiful conversation. This is Power Radio.
your kind of music, all day, all night, right here on your only station, Power Radio.
Sing a love song. I promise you will sing it with me all night long.
Your kind of music, all day, all night, right here on your only station, Power Radio.
Twice ukipata nafasi upotezi wakati. You're saying that you won't fall back, no way. All you need to show me is just one day. Ukipata nafasi hivyo ushakuwa chali. Just as zingine tuna vibe, you know that's alright. I know we made it through so many nights. Now hiyo time inapofika, you know you're the one. Mimi nitaitika nikufikie, bado unirudie. Mapenzi ni ya bure, utaachwa usisinzie. Take it nice and slow, don't get lost, oh no. Kwa mwendo wa kasi, nipe nafasi, nikuoneshe mapenzi wa kasi. Niko na penzi wa kasi, na mwendo wa kasi, no. Nipe nafasi, nikuoneshe mapenzi wa kasi. Niko na penzi wa kasi, na kinachonichanganya ni nini yeye ufanya ngana. Mi bado ngangana, usiko ready kusema kwa heri, no. Kinachonichanganya ni nini yeye ufanya ngana. Mi bado ngangana, usiko ready kusema kwa heri. Mapenzi wa kasi, niko na penzi wa kasi, no, mwendo wa kasi, oh, nipe nafasi, nikuoneshe mapenzi wa kasi, niko na penzi wa kasi.
Your kind of music, all day, all night, right here on your only station, Power Radio.
Sijawahiona kama wewe, a guy who fits my ideal type of guy. Ni kweli nimesaka kila kona, na bado sijapata my ideal type of guy. Akiniwe ni kama nitachota, boy cause you look so fine. And yes you blow my mind, yes you blow my mind away. Sing you across the room, dancing to my favorite song. And boy I can't ignore the way you're making me feel. My favorite song. And boy I can't ignore the way you're making me feel. Minataka tu kama we, kama we, kama we. Minataka kama we, kama we, kama we, kama we. Minataka kama we, kama we, kama we, kama we. Minataka kama we, minataka kama we. So baby please won't you come my way. I know we just met, but I know you feel me too. And better still, you feel the groove. So go ahead and make a move. Cause lately, I've been falling. It's all about you and me. It's all about you and me. Oh. Sing you across the room, dancing to my favorite song. And boy, I can't ignore the way you're making me feel. Sing you across the room, dancing to my favorite song. And boy, I can't ignore the way you're making me feel. Minataka tu kama we, kama we, kama we. Minataka kama we, kama we, kama we, kama we. Minataka kama we, kama we, kama we, kama we. Minataka kama we, minataka kama we. So baby please don't you come my way, kama we, kama we, kama we. Minataka I don't want you to leave, the night's still young. Let's take it to the flow and dance real slow. All night long, all night long, all night long. Mina taka to come away, come away. Mina taka to come away, come away, come away, come away. Mina taka to come away. Come away, come away, come away. Mina taka come away, come away, come away, come away. Mina taka come away, come away, come away, come away. Mina taka come away, mina taka come away. So baby, please won't you come my way?
Your kind of music, all day, all night, right here on your only station, Power Radio.
All right, so it is 8 minutes past the top of the hour. This is Sheversations with Caroline Murote on a Power Radio. Now, like we promised today, we are having a really impactful topic. It's very deep, even if I do say so myself, because personally, as a woman, it really, really affects me. And I hope that this is a conversation that everybody is hoping to chime in on, or at least learn a little bit, you know, even if you are from the other gender. We love you guys and we appreciate you. But this is a conversation that everybody needs to be having. Now, we have a lovely guest in studio. I am not by myself. I am joined by a representative from an NGO that does impactful work where period poverty is involved. But I'm going to let her introduce herself. So, ma'am, hello, hi, and you are most welcome.
Hello.
Yes. So could you please let us know who you are? What's your name? Unaweza tupea majina ya serikali. You know, if you have a DJ name, a stage name, how do you like to be known?
My name is Tracy Opon.
All right.
I am the executive director at Deshcare International.
Executive director. Guys, you're hearing it. That's the kind of information we're getting, executive information. All right. So tell us, what is Deshcare and what does it do pertaining to period poverty?
Deshcare is a youth-led non-profit.
All right.
We are actually a certified NGO.
Okay.
So we are a collective of the youth. We work within the youth. And what we do is we teach sexual, reproductive, and health rights under the menstrual health pillar.
Mm-hmm.
We also give education scholarships depending on your term of need. We also do water and sanitation hygiene, where that is usually based in Athi River.
Okay.
Where we give water filters to ensure that the marginalized communities are able to get clean water.
Oh, all right. Awesome. So that sounds like quite a bit. It sounds like the kind of things that we really need organizations rallying together to do. And I'd like to ask, so how long has Deshcare been in operation?
4 years.
4 years. All right. And how many projects have you, just partaken so far, particularly in the area of, I love what you said about sexual health and reproduction. I think that's where period poverty would fall under. So what kind of projects have you guys taken up so far?
We have done over 40 projects.
Okay.
In Kibera.
Oh, wow.
With one in Athi River.
Okay.
But that was just because of a surplus that we were like, okay, since we're doing hand washing sanitations there, let us give pads to the school.
All right. So in the day and age of scarcity, surplus is a word that we love to hear. So what I would love to do is, because we're just your exhibit A of an organization that is really doing good community work,
Yeah.
I would love for you to walk me through the life cycle of a project, where you actually create impact. So how do you begin? What do you do? And how do you know that, okay, no, this has worked, this has assisted? What does that look like?
So that looks like the project cycle, the project management cycle. It wouldn't take as much time as the bigger project where you need to write grants. You need to, as much as we're looking for grant funders for the reusable sanitary towels. So right now we're giving disposable sanitary towels to Kibera girls. And what it looks like is we have to crowdsource funding so that we are able to be able to fund and get, the product and quality product. With that, we first have a community coordinator who has to be on the ground
All right.
to know what these girls need,
Okay.
to know that this that is being brought is not helping, and this that is here is okay. This has been, you have to get feedback. That is how you become inclusive.
All right.
So we start from there. Once the coordinator comes back and gives the feedback, now we know the user's needs. We get to understand, okay, this is how we did it. We need to change A, B, C, D.
Okay.
So after that, we get to now decide as the secretariat that, okay, this is how much funding it is. How do we get more for the next project? Because you cannot just use where you can't replace. We need this to be sustainable. The reason why we stopped this from a one-off thing and getting into the NGO sector is us creating sustainability of being able to, be with the girls who are in need. So that is now what happens. Afterwards, I get now to take full control because before becoming executive director, I was the program manager.
All right.
So I get to go through with my team of program management where they have to understand how the project, the budget, the implementation, the execution is done. Once it's done, there is still a report to be done.
Okay.
So that anybody who asks our audits, we're even right now trying to clear up with the KRA so that we're tax exempted. We are on the clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Thank you for breaking that down. And the reason why I was asking is because I just want to create in everybody's mind that is listening right now that active community work and actually deciding to have impact in whatever it is that you're doing is not just a matter of saying I want to do it. It actually looks very intricate, and that there's ways to do this that very structural ways that actually involves a team, and that once you start to understand what it looks like for you to make impact, and that's what we're learning here, then we can actually be intentional and actually start to serial change.
Yes.
So thank you so much for taking us through that. So right about now, I would love to share just a few things that I've been seeing here. So I have just some information from UN Women Africa, and they're just talking about period poverty. So this article was released on their website on Saturday, the 25th of May this year. So that's just a couple of months ago. And basically it says a lot about what's going on with period poverty, right? So this is what it says, and this is a global statistic. So we haven't even got into the Kenyan statistics. It says every month, more than 2 billion people around the world menstruate. Although a natural and healthy process, menstruation interrupts the lives, the rights, and the freedoms of millions of women and girls. And why should it do that? I don't understand why something natural should actually, interrupt somebody's life, because they cannot afford or access menstrual products, sanitation, hygiene facilities, and lack education and awareness to manage their menstrual health and hygiene. So this is what's going on. Now, before we even get deeper into what the UN Women Africa has to say, let's define period poverty. So we might be hearing period poverty, it just sounds like a really smart term. But what is it exactly? When we say that somebody or Africans or women, 2 billion people around the world are menstruating and possibly facing period poverty, what are we actually talking about?
Period poverty is the lack of menstrual products, education, and hygiene products. And this is when we talk about period poverty, I can say every girl has gone through period poverty, even us.
Okay.
When you go out and you don't get a pad and your menstrual cycle has started, that is period poverty.
All right. Okay. So let's say that I grew up in a particularly privileged background where pads are not an issue. So create that picture for me. What does it look like for a girl who has no access? And because we like to assume that we understand what people's lack looks like. But let's say that I have had menstrual products my whole life. I didn't even have to ask where they come from. I might not even know what prices they are, or the funds might not have been, something that's hard to get. So what does it look like? Maybe if this particular lady's cycle lasts 7 days, 3 days, 2 days, what does it actually look like qua ground when we say they're lacking menstrual product? Can you draw a picture?
First of all, is the education about menstrual health.
Okay.
You see, you already knowing your cycle is 6 days or 7 days, and then it's going to take a whole luteal phase of, let's say, 26 or 27 days or 28. It is the awareness. You see, you've been taught.
Okay.
And you're able now to look back at yourself and say, okay, Tracy, my period takes 5 days. When it takes another cycle, it takes 24 days. So I am able to prepare. But you see that awareness,
Right.
that it comes, that I know this happens, this is coming for 5 days. There is a child in Kibera who does not know about that. And funny enough, 2 out of 5 schools teach menstrual hygiene. Whatever is being taught in the books is left. Like, it's already taught, that's it.
Okay.
Only schools, very few schools go outside the book to have peer skills, you know?
Okay.
To start teaching about menstrual hygiene and cycle. So what happens is that girl in Kibera does not even know when her period is coming. She just knows there's a time of the month when I'm bleeding. What happens? You know, there's a consequence of period poverty. So you who has had pads all your life, you wake up and you find a pad is there. Wow. Very nice. And that's why I was telling you, even us, we've gone through period poverty because you find yourself, you've gone out or you've gone, you know, for an eatery or something.
Right.
And you don't have your pad.
Okay.
That is poverty. You should be able, what we are trying to create awareness is, we should be able, the same way we find tissues in our toilets, can we please find a pad
Okay.
for the women,
So-
for anyone who might be in need?
All right. So what it would look like if nobody was to experience period poverty is if sanitary products became publicly and readily, freely available for everybody.
That is one.
Wow. It's so interesting to see how crazy that sounds because of the prices of good and quality menstrual products in the supermarkets. If you're a woman who, you know, has her menses, because not every woman menstruates, it's actually wild to think that this is something that should be happening.
It
But
should.
then the minute you've mentioned it, because I don't think that I've particularly struggled to get, you know, and I acknowledge that that privilege. I have not struggled in my life to get menstrual products, but then I know that that's not the reality of a lot of girls out there. But even when you say that I should be able to readily get menstrual products the same way I have access to toilet paper, that doesn't even make sense to me. It doesn't, and that means that we're really far. And a lot of work needs to be done. That's one of the markers.
I think one of the things that was being combating is why should we walk into toilets and find condoms
right
and not find menstrual health?
exactly
That is a choice. Condoms
Yes.
are a choice.
yes
Menstrual health is something that, like the menstrual cycle is something that naturally occurs. It is not your
Right.
choice. You were born a woman.
Put that on a t-shirt. Sex is a choice.
You know?
Periods are not.
Yeah.
That is something that needs to be blasted on our billboards. Speaking of billboards, what do you think about, you know what I'm gonna ask? Our what's her name? Gloria. What do you think about that? I'm not even gonna say what I think. What do you think about that? Because we've seen what happened during the Mandamano. We've also heard comments from our friends in the parliament. I'm saying that sarcastically. Karen Nyamu saying, "I just used tampons." You know, when she was being asked about period poverty and about girls and representing women. So, what do you think about that? Like, what do you have to say?
I want to be very wise
Okay.
and say that menstrual health, the same way you've said, there's a girl of privilege who doesn't even know what period poverty is. So I would not expect you to speak about it
Right.
from a point of knowledge.
Okay.
You will speak about it from a point of privilege. So to that, I will just say the senator started very well about, us. This should be something which should not be stigmatized.
Yes, creating awareness.
Creating awareness.
Yes, and taking away shame
Yes.
from the idea of periods.
And actually walking around with her stained trouser.
Yes, I thought that was
something.
bold and beautiful.
Yeah, that was something which should be okay.
Yeah.
And seeing what was going on with the members of parliament, even the men just saying, how do you walk like this?
Right.
That is what we're trying to remove, to curb.
Why do you think that is, though? Where do you think that shame comes from?
That shame comes from, now we're talking about consequences of period poverty.
Okay, let's go into that.
consequences of period poverty looks like missing school or work.
Okay.
Why? Because you might come there, something happens, your cramps are happening. We're seeing organizations are even giving leave days for women because they're on their menstrual health.
Is that happening?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
It actually is.
My bosses need to be chiming into this conversation.
So there's that. There's unhygienic materials where you find girls are using mattresses, blankets.
Wow.
When they're done, they go wash, then wanaanika, then they come and wear them again. So that is very unhygienic. Then we also have the experiencing shame and stigma of, if I stain my clothes, will someone just come and kindly tell me, empathize and just tell me, you know what, mama, this has happened.
Yeah.
Let's go. And I can be able to stand up and walk and nobody is laughing. Nobody
Yes.
is giggling on the sidelines.
Yeah, you don't want the ground to open up and swallow you.
Like, am I okay? You know?
Right.
Then we also have, can we talk about now the perpetuating cycle of poverty?
Okay, let's talk about that.
Where now that happens, you end up missing school.
Okay.
So you end up missing something. You end up missing work. There are some girls who their cramps get so bad they have to go to hospital.
Okay.
So talking about period poverty is something which we need to be aware that it happens. And we need to be ready to not stigmatize people. And that is why for Deshka's theme in 2024 is putting men into menstruation.
I was just about to ask you, what is the place of men in this conversation? I was just about to ask you that. So it's good that you've just mentioned that.
It is very ironic that when we grow up, that is when men can refuse to be okay talking about the conversation. Like they're like, go wash your bed sheet. You're the one who stained it.
Ew.
Yeah, ew. What is that?
Isn't nini mnaongelelea sasa?
Hey, ebu acha ujinga.
Yeah.
That should not be the case.
Right.
You know?
What should happen?
Because why? When I get my period, it's toka hapa. When I don't get my period, what happens?
Shame.
You know?
There's something wrong with
It's not
you.
even about shame. It's the guy now wondering, why didn't you get your period? Why didn't...
Right. So it concerns him.
Yeah, it concerns him.
It's his business.
True. So this is now when we get older.
Right.
So now what we're talking about putting men into menstruation, hashtag he for she,
Okay.
is we want you to be accepting that this happens.
Right.
Be willing to... We cannot be lovey-dovey at a certain point, and if I
Right.
stay in your car seat, I become the worst person on earth.
Let's acknowledge that the same way milkers comes out of your nose when you have a cold. But that's actually
Exactly.
worse because that means that your body is sick. This is natural.
Natural.
And it's to be expected. So it's not a shock.
Yeah.
And you've had 10 years by the time, hopefully you're at the age of consent when you're partaking in the sexual activities.
And you know the funny thing?
Right.
You were taught this in biology. You were taught this
Now
in
you-
science.
You said something interesting. You said that 2 out of 5, is it schools are teaching about sexual health,
menstrual health. Yeah.
So can you tell me what happens in the schools that are not? Why is there a disparity in our education system?
There's a disparity because it can be the willingness of doing that. Number
Okay.
one, are they able to fund? Because what you see when schools are putting in peer skills,
Okay.
you know,
And
that
for-
is an
in-
extra lesson.
For somebody who doesn't know what peer skills are, what are you referring to?
Peer skills are those life skills that they teach in schools.
Okay. So
You
how
know.
to practically apply what
Yeah.
you have learned in the theory.
Yeah.
Okay.
What you've learned in theory. It might be about menstrual health. It might be about cooking. It might be about tailoring.
Right.
All that. Life skills of you people just knowing.
Right.
And knowing how to, even the emotional intelligence is actually taught.
Okay.
That is now what happens when there is a budget in schools, because that is a whole lesson. So in the schools where they're just doing the bare minimum of teaching and leaving,
Okay.
because how does my salary look like to put an extra hour? You know? How does it look like? So there's that, which doesn't happen.
Okay.
So what we mostly get is whatever we are taught in bio or science for primary school kids.
Yeah. Assuming that this kid ended up in class.
And now what I want to tell you, Murote, is
Yes.
from primary, this man has been taught about the female cycle. Biology comes, he has been taught about the period cycle.
Right.
Why is it that right now he wants to deny he does not know what is happening.
Or that
in
it's
the
none
period.
of his business.
Or that is none of his business.
That's an interesting conversation. Before we speak to the men directly and put men in menstruation, I would like to know what organizations like Deshcare and other similar organizations that care about, the well-being of women, especially in this particular area of period poverty, what would you say to government? Because I might be wrong, but I'd like to think that curriculum has a lot to do with whatever it is that's going on in the Ministry of Education, and the stakeholders are the ones that make our policies and also make sure that the policies are being, seen to fruition. Whatever it is that's set out for the curriculum, the goals is actually happening. So what are we saying? What needs to happen at the top so that down here, when organizations like Deshcare are doing whatever it is that you can, when you're able to get funding, you're able to structure yourselves to assist a certain number of girls, what needs to happen so that we are having civic education, we're having peer skills available to anybody who enters within the walls of a school?
I feel on the ground, we have a lot of organizations doing the work. A lot, Murote, a lot. If I take you to Kibera,
okay,
these girls, wow.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get amazed because we have really done the work.
That's encouraging.
I feel we don't get supported by the government because now they put policies that hurt us.
Okay.
You get. When you see sanitary towels being 200 shillings a pack, leave even the 70 shilling because that is an 8, the 8 slices, let's say 8 slices of bread.
Right.
Those are the 8 slices. That is not enough for a girl to go through her cycle.
It's not.
So she needs 16. And the 16 pack is 200 shillings.
And that's assuming it's a regular period and not girls who have really heavy menstrual periods.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
So that is not being supportive. Us going again, funny enough, the finance bill, where sanitary towels were again to be increased.
Trauma.
Not being supportive. What happens?
So what do they need to do now?
We cannot say, you see now this is where it comes in, that we cannot say, it reaches an age where it is okay for the girl to use a menstrual cup. It is okay for the girl to use a tampon.
Right.
But it is not okay for a certain girl at a certain age, below 18,
right,
to start using a cup or a tampon.
Yes, it might not make sense for them at that age.
It does not make sense for them at that age. Even the hygiene that is needed from them,
yes,
they can't be able to put it.
Especially girls who come from underprivileged spaces, because we're already assuming that they have access to water, they have access to private spaces to, change their menstrual cups
out. These are people who do not have that.
Right.
So we cannot ask them to have menstrual cups or use tampons, as our senator will say.
Yes.
It's only at another age that it is okay for you, because now you have the idea, you know what is happening,
right,
you know what is needed of you as a girl.
And you can afford to situate yourself in a way where you can hygienically use different products.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sadly for that, we try now to use, because now we're trying to get into the reusable sanitary towel.
Okay.
With that comes another challenge of water and hygiene, because that can be a long-term goal to sustain a marginalized community. Because if I give you 3 Murote right now, they will take you for 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've actually read somewhere that the lifespan of a good quality menstrual cup, for example, I know you're talking about reusable sanitary towels.
Yeah.
Is actually 10 years. Which I thought that was crazy, because it means that if I'm able to save up money, or I just have money available and I'm able to purchase that, then it means that really changes my life. But somebody who's struggling to get a packet of pads for 200 shillings, it's not their priority to save up money, because first of all, what are they saving?
True.
Do you understand? So I love that there is work being done, and a lot of education is needed. So before we get into the intricacies of what kind of menstrual products will actually be helpful, if I want to chime in, I want to help out, and people out there who have no idea what they can do to assist, we're just gonna go on a short break. We're gonna hear from 1001 songs, one of them, and then we'll be back with this conversation.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
1005 songs and more.
And I'm not ashamed, no one of them, a Christian till the end. I'm one of them, and I'm not ashamed, no one of them. You can count me in it, a Christian till the end. I'm not ashamed of the gospel. It's the power of God for salvation. You can count me in it. Ain't a the ambassador in it. Repping my side to the fullest, announcing Christ everywhere that I visit. First to the Jews, then the Gentiles. Jesus is my savior. I stand firm in faith, immovable, unshakable, hanging on the word of God. You can count me in it. Ain't a the ambassador in it. One of them, and I'm not ashamed. One of them, a Christian till the end. I'm one of them, and I'm not ashamed. One of them, a Christian till the end. I am one of them, Christian until the end. I am better than child of the better day or the better day. Those who stand for their faith, they not ashamed of the gospel. Jesus will never deny them in front of the Father. Those who stand for their faith, they not ashamed of the gospel. Jesus will never deny them in front of the Father. One of them, and I'm not ashamed. One of them, a Christian till the end. I'm one of them, and I'm not ashamed. One of them, a Christian till the end. I'm one of them, and I'm not ashamed. One of them, a Christian till the end. I'm one of them, and I'm not ashamed. One of them, a Christian till the end. One of them, and I'm not ashamed. No, one of them, a Christian till the end. One of them, and I'm not ashamed. No, one of them, a Christian till the end.
So that was One of Them by 1005 Songs, and the producer Wood Omolo, who has now decided that he also wants to be a star, and I love that for him so much. So right before that, we were going into what can be done about period poverty. So we've been having such a eye-opening conversation here with Tracy, that's Dish Care International's executive director, and we've been having some pretty executive information. So we've been talking about what period poverty is, and so tell me, Tracy, the list of menstrual products that are readily available out there in the market in Kenya, because I'm pretty sure that there's a gentleman out there who just knows kuna hizi vitu, kuna pads, you know, and so maybe if you have a conversation with them and you don't use pads, you lose them. So assuming ni wenye walilala, you know, or they were in the 3 out of 5 schools that were not giving sex ed, that's what I like to call sexual education or menstrual education, like what do girls use for periods? And this is to a man that doesn't know, and or a girl who has never even had the privilege of knowing what kinds of products they could use.
Before I start mentioning the products, I think as a man, if you're envisioning to even become a father, a good father to a girl, you need to start by having your knowledge.
Okay.
And how do you have this knowledge? This is through you speaking with your partner, you know, your girlfriend, your who. It starts now.
Right.
You can't want to start this thing later. I'll be a better father.
Okay.
When you're not a better spouse.
So it starts with if there's a woman in your life.
Not even just a woman in your life. Your sister, your mother.
So if you exist, if you're a man who exists with women around them. So that's everybody.
Yeah.
So this is all the men. Okay.
So it starts from you. So it starts with the initiative of wanting to know more.
Okay.
So it has to start from you intentionally.
Right.
That, you know what, even my sister is here. Let me talk to her. Let me ask her, okay, so what's going on? Because after your sister who comes, in fact, it is your mother first.
Right.
Then your sister. Let's say you don't have sisters.
Okay.
Then you get a girlfriend. What happens? You become ignorant because you were never taught.
Right.
It reaches an age you stop using that excuse.
Okay.
That I was not taught.
So we're saying it's outdated now.
Yeah.
Ignorance is no longer an excuse because we are here on Power Radio with Deshcare and we are educating everybody.
It reaches an age right now with smartphones, with what? You cannot say you are not taught.
That's really
fine. You are not taught. Teach yourself.
Okay. So now what about women who have been shamed to the point where they believe that these are women's issues? These are not for men, because you did mention a mother, a sister, right? Assuming that this man is wanting to approach their family members. I have witnessed conversations where a guy is trying to find out more between their mother and their sister, and they're being told, "Easy to see Zenu."
Who is the head of the house?
So what happens when the women are not willing because of what they have experienced and the unlearning that has not yet happened? Because now we are assuming the men are ignorant, but I have seen for myself that women also have misconceptions about how openly, and honestly, it's because of what they were taught when they were younger. They were taught so much shame and also taught to believe that this is private, it's personal, suffer alone, don't involve other people, it is shameful. So if you're a good woman, don't involve men when it comes to your private issues.
Now,
what happens there?
You become an intentional woman to ensure your kids don't grow up the same way.
Okay.
As you're unlearning, you teach your kids what they should learn so that it's not a generational thing that happens.
So now we're speaking to everybody.
Yeah. So now we're trying to change whatever is happening within us.
Okay.
So it starts with me. I acknowledge ABCD was taught with me. You see, that just clicks.
Right.
And you unlearn. You unlearn slowly because it is not accepted within yourself, even yourself. Once you do that, you now teach to others, because you have to give as well. You have to teach your daughter, your son, that it is okay. Let me tell you, me as Tracy, I cannot be doing this, and at home I cannot send my brother for a pad.
I was just going to ask you, so then what do we start to do practically? Do we start asking them to buy the pads for us, to know the different sizes, to know that winged pads don't actually mean chicken from KFC? I've seen a few funny videos when you say, please get me some pads and wings, and then you bring the pads and then you bring chicken wings. Bring pads which are winged and bring the chicken as well. We
Funny
should know
enough,
the difference.
now it starts with, we cannot go to the supermarket and just pick snacks and pick, oh, baby girl, what do you want?
Right.
Can I do your skincare? Can I buy for you your skincare? Can we walk there and be able to tell them, okay, this size is for this because of the menstrual flow?
Right.
The other
Day
time I was
one.
being asked, are the sizes because, someone is obese, someone is... And I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
And it means that they have no idea.
They have no idea.
Because if you've never menstruated before, you've never had this conversation.
This was actually
We take it
coming
for
from
granted.
a guy,
Yeah.
They don't understand.
Okay.
And I was like, wow, we actually have some work to do.
So what are
because
those-
you need to know, it's not about the sizes, doesn't mean it's about my body type.
Right.
It's about the menstrual flow.
Okay.
That is where the sizes come in.
Yeah.
So when we're talking to the men about, when you go here, please pick this size, pick this one which has 3 dots, pick this one which the left-hand side that is longer.
Right.
We need to show them practically because these guys are visual.
So photos.
Yeah.
And like the actual product.
They will not understand when you tell them, pick for me the extra maxi. Thick.
So what else can they pick that isn't a sanitary towel before we go back to girls who don't have access? So what period products are there out there?
Period products that there are tampons.
Okay.
Are the reusable towels? Are the disposable towels that men use?
Okay.
Are the panty liners? I think that is the most of it.
And the menstrual cups as well.
Yeah, the menstrual cups, but those ones now you don't get them at the supermarket.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so in case you didn't know what kind of products that your girlfriend, your mother, your wife, your neighbor might be using, this is a good list for you to start. This is your starter pack. So start Googling, have conversations. And if you find a woman who's unwilling, empathize and understand that she might not feel comfortable because of what she has been
And
taught.
why
So
does she?
you start the conversation. If the women around you are not comfortable enough to converse with you. Go find out and then start a conversation with some information. Yeah, so I love this so much. So you were letting us know that there is measures that are being taken, and you mentioned reusable sanitary towels, which last for, you had said how many years?
5 years.
5 years. So why are this a better idea than the disposable ones?
Reusables are a better idea for sustainably managing a problem.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
So we notice there's a gap in Kibera. There are no sanitary towels which are accessible, because right now what we do as Desh Care, we go round in circles.
Okay.
Where we give reusables. These girls are still waiting the next month for us, So you end up it's an every time.
Right. It becomes a commitment.
So by the time you finish with the whole of Kibera, you can't be just giving reusables.
Yes.
Why, disposables.
Right.
Why reusables look better is because I will give you 3.
Okay.
And I leave you for the next 5 years. In fact, I will only be following up to come and check if you're fine, if you're okay, if there's anything else.
Because you have assisted me long term.
See?
Okay.
Then now I move to the next community and go and help there.
Okay.
But the problem with reusables, they're so expensive.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That needs grant funding.
So let's talk about funding. So how do organizations that want to assist and, want to make a difference in what's going on out there? We want to see a difference in the statistics that we're seeing. What can be done in terms of assisting with funding, with resources? What does help look like to an organization that cares?
Help can look like crowdsourcing.
Okay.
Where someone who just feels like, I can't fund the whole project.
Okay.
But I can do one.
Yani mchango.
Yeah, mchango.
Yeah,
too.
our Harambee
Let
style.
me just help. Yeah, and that is, I think people usually say, oh my gosh, now what is this? What is she sending us?
Yeah. It's a big problem. I can't fix it. There's nothing I can do. There is something. There's
there
something.
is
Your
something
50
small.
bob goes a long way.
Exactly.
Because if everybody sends their 50 bob, we might end up with 5,000, which is, how much is the reusable towels?
One
Yes.
reusable towel?
Yes.
Is 600 shillings.
It's 600 shillings. Now, if you think about your typical Nairobi baddies, what does 600 shillings mean? It might be one Uber ride or 2. It might be it's not even a meal at Chicken Inn.
It's not a KFC
It's
meal.
it's not even a KFC. The baddies, it's not even a KFC meal. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So that is something that's quite visible for a lot of us who might be here listening and wanting to make a difference.
Yeah.
So how do you collect these funds?
We usually do crowdfunding. So most of our volunteers, when we get we usually have a commitment fee for the operationals, as a grassroots organization where we're just youth, we need to also do something from ourselves. So we do crowdsourcing, crowdsource funding. We also try to speak to some of our board members to help along to find people who are well-wishers, who are willing to support us for the next 1 year.
All right.
So that usually happens. So you find we have like a donor for a certain period of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have people who commit and then they're able to keep your project sustainable.
And we also have recurring donors who, like Murote, can go into the database and say, I pledge to put 200 shillings a month. So it recurs. Every month, you get your 200 shillings off your tab.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. So we're gonna be sharing your financial information on our platforms and on this feed before we end today's show. And I just love to ask you about what is PMS, because the same way guys don't know about pads, they don't know about tampons, and this is for those that don't know. If you don't know, you're doing a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But for somebody who doesn't know what PMS is, like kona PMS, PMS, and you know just like the insults of you akona PMS, achane na mimi. What is that? Like if you can just like just put that in a simple way that somebody would understand, without all the scientific terms, because I know it's a lot.
I think when we speak about PMSing
what does it stand for, first of all?
Period. My period, menstrual
Premenstrual stress.
Yeah, premenstrual stress. That's what they say.
Okay.
But usually you'll say period.
Okay.
I'm having my period.
Okay.
And you see, when a girl goes through period, not everyone is PMSing.
Okay.
Like you find your body changes. Like for me right now, and when I was 18, my, what do we call them?
Your cycle?
Not even my
Your
cycle.
hormones?
My hormones have changed.
Right.
It's no longer the same.
Right.
And this is why it needs some intentionality from a woman to know her body. So when we say we are PMSing, it doesn't mean you throw it around. In fact, I usually feel so bad when I hear a man akisema, "Oya kona mashiro."
Okay.
Is it a bad thing?
Okay, right. So we need to be
happens
responsible
naturally.
with also the
The
conversations
how.
we're having.
Because now those like small things that we say and we think it's a laughter joke.
Yeah.
Those are the small things that create stigma around us.
They're creating narratives.
Now I
They're
shouldn't
teaching
have
people.
mashiro because it's bad. Because of how it was said. You see, and it's not bad.
What do you have to say to women who actually misuse being on their period to take advantage of situations? Being on a period is hard enough, but then if your situation is manageable, using that to emotionally manipulate people, get favors, if there's people around you, because that's also a conversation that needs to be had, because there is a lot of responsible men and women out there who are supportive at that time of the month, but there's also just these things that ruin what's being done.
How long?
So we need to speak to that.
The thing I usually say is, how long will you play that for?
Okay.
How long will you play that card? That because I'm on my period, I can't.
I can't.
We
need to change the narrative.
This man one day will just tell you, I'm also doing ABCD.
Right.
I can't.
My back is aching.
My back is aching. I'm from working ABCD. I can't. You also need to be thoughtful of, are you really in need? Like, are you really going through it? That we can accept that sometimes we have also structured flows.
Yes.
Where we have our heavy flow and we have our light flow.
Right.
So on day one, we know
understand.
that Tracy cannot be touched right now.
Right.
She's she'll snap.
Right.
Which is okay.
Right.
But can it just be that?
Okay.
Not now the whole 5 days you become something nonsensical.
You become a bit of a monster who doesn't take accountability for their actions.
It reaches a time that someone goes out there and sees, wow, this one is actually non-problematic.
Right.
Not because she was faking it. You are faking it.
So let's be honest with
need
our
to be
experiences
honest,
so that
because
we don't ruin it for those that are actually really going through it.
There are good men who are actually willing to understand that you're going through a period.
Yeah.
That I will, But when you take advantage, again, why are you destroying the work people have done into putting men into menstruation?
That's not the kind of disrupting we want to do.
That is not what we're trying to do.
True. So now we have just 10 minutes left in this conversation, and I'd love to talk about collaboration. So we have a Dash Care International, which you've highlighted has, taken up our 40 project in Kibera. We've gone through the life cycle of a project. We've looked at why are we doing this? What is it for? How does it assist? And now we want to talk about how can people collaborate. And now when I say people, I mean as an individual, what can I do? And then if I have an organization that maybe I sell bread, or I'm a girlie who's doing pilau, and I know nothing. I know nothing about community work, but I care. I understand that periods are hard, and from this conversation now I know that something needs to be done, because I might be privileged enough to enjoy my cycles, not feeling desperate because I have access to menstrual health education. I know when my period is, when my cycle is, I know which products to use, and I can afford them. But now that I know that there's girls in Kibera, we've seen a few of the statistics. How can people collaborate intentionally with organizations? Say if I don't have money. So we've talked about the money bit, say if I don't have money, what can I do? We saw collaboration so beautifully during Mandamano. If you have water, give water.
Just bring.
If you can make a social media post and in your language, do that. So what does collaboration look like where period poverty can actually, be fought against positively if everybody right now listening to this was to actually take us seriously and go ahead and do that? What should they do?
I can say, let me give you an instance. Dreams is an NGO in Kibera.
Okay. Dreams.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're actually one of those people who are on the ground and can easily coordinate girls.
Okay.
Dash Care is here a team of youth who have so much knowledge about menstrual health and can do ABCD.
Okay.
Here is Nia, who creates and do quality pads that are given in CSR price. So Dash Care looks for funding, we look for the community, we get the sanitary towel, we create an event.
All right.
You see.
So information about stakeholders is important.
It's
so you
very
need,
important.
You need to know who you should be approaching.
Yeah.
Like you can go give a box of pads to a particular girl somewhere, but it might be more impactful if you find out who's already on the ground doing this work, making a difference,
Because
and
some
then you
sell.
plug in.
Sadly, some sell. Some girls sell.
What do you mean?
If I give you a pad,
Right.
and you see, no, I don't need it. I use a blanket.
Wow.
So you go sell because it gives you extra money.
Oh, but if we partner with organizations, then
Yeah.
this girl gets the education and your money has
Exactly.
better value long term.
It's not just about the product. It's about
Okay.
also the knowledge that you instill into this girl to be a holistic human being.
Okay.
Yeah.
That thing of not giving a man a fish, but actually teaching him
Yeah,
to fish.
teaching him to fish and
Okay.
still giving the fish.
All right.
So that looks like acting upon your words. That looks like if you can't come to the ground, because you can't come to the ground and volunteer with us.
Right.
You can find us at www.deshcare.org or our Instagram,
Right.
Deshcare International.
Yes, we've linked that on our socials.
Yeah. So you are able to come in and volunteer.
Okay.
You get? Then from volunteering, if you're not able to come, you can actually just post our posters or even our work.
Create awareness.
Create awareness.
Okay.
Advocate for policy change. That works. In a digitally place, really, 2 minutes, 1 minute.
And
that's
how?
just it.
That is it worked so much during Mandamano. In
Yeah.
fact, I would say that the groundwork, and see Vitokwa ground, literally the groundwork of this revolution that we've had around this past few months, a lot of it happened on social media. So the digital wankers, I'm so sorry to everybody who said that because it's we now we're laughing at you. So what does accountability look like? Because you've said, for example, you give this girl, she's gonna sell. Now we don't want that to happen. We understand why she would do it because
Yeah.
again, if you're not coming from a privileged background, we understand that for you, your priority is to get a little bit of money, and donating is not something that makes sense to you at
Yeah.
that point. But if I now do what you're saying, what does accountability look like? Because whatever it is that the government is doing, we as the citizens easily hold them accountable because they're supposed to document. Everything is supposed to be, it's supposed public participation is involved, invited, literally policies mandate that must happen. That's how we were able to know about the finance bill. It wasn't done in secret. And then we were able to come and say, no, we don't want that. So now what does it look like for me, who has given you my 2,000 shillings, my 50 bob, my 200 shillings? I've sent it to Deshcare. Deshcare have collaborated with Dream, with Nia. Now,
Tico,
how
a
how
lot.
do I know that my money is being used? What does it look like? Because we have such an ugly history of corruption.
True.
And because a lot of people do find themselves in unfortunate situations, then you also have a lot of people using organizations to make themselves rich under the guise of doing the groundwork. So what needs to be done so that everything is transparent and we actually see impact?
What that looks like is, I told you before I became the AD, I was the PM,
Okay.
the program manager.
Okay.
So that looks like me knowing my project tools,
Okay.
me doing monitoring and evaluation
Okay.
in a project. That after this project, a report has to be written, not only just for our donors, but also for the KRA. You understand?
Right.
Auditing is going to happen where you receive this amount of money, what is going on, what is happening. There
Okay.
are all those questions that happen. So you'll find many who are not registered to be NGOs. There can be CBOs, there can be, you understand? So some might be shady, not to say, we don't have that, but you have to file your paperwork.
Okay.
Even down to the transport that is happening, all that has to be done. And the donors have to receive, what do we call it? A report.
Right.
A report or a newsletter
Okay.
in their emails of this happened, or a thank you note. So those are all stages that happen.
Okay.
You will receive a report. After the report, you will receive a newsletter. After a newsletter, you will receive a thank you note.
Okay.
And after that, because it's not done, you will receive an impact story.
Okay.
Usually we try look around for that. Did we
Alright.
create an impact, or did we just go and leave? Did we change someone's story?
So newsletters, reports, the government, paperwork,
Yeah.
editing. So how do I know, this is going to be the last one because we just have 3 minutes left. How do I know a legitimate organization? You said, you need to be there with a KRA, meaning that you are documented, that you're registered, a registered NGO.
Yeah.
How do I know? Like, I'm just a girl on
There is an
Instagram. I'm
NGO's
seeing,
board.
I'm seeing this, I'm seeing that. Like, I don't have time to, start. I don't want to do a project on this thing. So what's an easy way for me to know if an organization I want to partner with, support, invest in is legitimate?
If you go online,
Okay.
everything is online.
So where can they find that
If
kind
you
of
go
information?
online, there's a list of NGO boards. Like there is an actual NGO board that
Okay.
approves NGOs.
Okay, so that's in Kenya.
Yeah.
All right.
So you can get a list.
So if the organization is not on the list, then you'll be like, okay, guys.
It can be a CBO. It's not a must for it. See, CBOs are just smaller than NGOs.
Okay.
So it could be a CBO.
All right.
So just ask them not to use NGO next time.
I hear you. Okay, so I feel like we've gotten so much information. It's unfortunate 2 hours is not enough. This is a conversation that needs to continue happening. But because we've come to the end of today's show, we would love to have you guys on, another time where we continue to dive into this issues and hoping that we come back with success stories. Would love to hear success stories, would love to hear just what has been done, why is it working,
Yeah.
what is it that you have done that's successful, what is it that has happened that maybe is not a good thing and you'd like to educate other people who'd like to take up certain projects. So that's something that would love to hear a different time. But I would love to thank you so much to you, Deshcare organization, Deshcare International, and you particularly for spending time with us to educate us.
Anytime.
Yes, it has been our honor, and I hope that as you've been listening, you've been impacted. I hope that you've learned something new, and I hope that you've been inspired to make a difference. So thank you so much for coming in, and that's it from me today. I don't have anything else to say actually. So now we're just gonna hear from 1005 Songs once more with Munoma. This is Sheversations. My name is Caroline Murote, and I'm gonna see you same time here on Friday.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
1005 songs in
See how I look when you know move. See where you take credit to you do. See your kwangu pozangu. God when him true, got a better view. And since I met you, when you nuru yangu. Fact of the matter. See my Christ is the answer. You got me, so I gotta get it. Raise up the banner, make him not forget it. Stop searching for truth on my socials. Looking for answers, got promos. Sana jua, there's only one way. Ni yesu munoma, only one way.
my shit and my God is the biggest out there. I've been feeling the rap with them scriptures all over like, yeah. I know you like it, cause you know Jehovah's son is invited. And every time that he shows up, demons are finished. So there goes my heartfelt condolences to the enemy. I'm seated in heavenly places far beyond this reach. My advocate is Jesus, I'm enjoying immunity. Paid by the blood, restoration by the Father. I'm in the assembly of the firstborn, enrolled in the heavenly places of the dawn. Spirits of the rushes made perfect for God by the blood of the Lamb. Now I walk like him, talk like him, reign with him, and it calls me years. Made in his image, tell me do you see it? Son of the dawn, rapping my city, you heard?
His image in his likeness, yeah. In his image in his likeness, yeah, yeah.
city, my God is the biggest out there. I've been feeling the rap with them scriptures all over like, yeah. I know you like it, cause you know Jehovah's son is invited. And every time that he shows up, demons are finished, so done.
Power Radio. Tune in and power up.